Guys, I'm just going to share with you some Blitz porn, all right? We've just come out the back of a 2-hour chess session with Chess Bootcamp Live guys, where we went through one of Chad's games in the King's Gambit, and we learned some really, really important lessons from that. And then we went through a King's Gambit game from Chernev, Logical Chess Move 5 Move, which was also highly, highly instructive. And then we had a conversation about the King's Gambit, and it's all looking, it's got the old juices flowing. So then I went on and I played a couple of Blitz games against this guy, Dan, 1949, so he's even older than me. And I've just got to share them with you because I don't know what it is. I haven't analysed them, not going to. The point is, this is pure aesthetic, erotic chess blitz porn art. Okay, so we'll go through it. Let's switch my speaker off. Game number 1, we have a Sicilian. So I'm playing the Grand Prix. Why not? We have knight out, we have f4, and pawn to e6, and knight to f3. All very normal, seen this many, many times. Now we have the bishop out to here. This is not uncommon. So when the bishop comes out to here, of course you can't play queen e1, queen h4. So you'll probably play queen e1, queen g3. Okay, just so you know. Bishop comes out now trying to trade off with the knight. My opponent allows it and then doubles his pawns. Okay, fair enough. d3 comes. We've completed our light squared pawn chain. He develops his knight. We castle, and his light squared bishop comes out, kind of pinning this pawn against the rook. I play queen e1, typical move. King comes out now. So there's not a lot of point playing my queen here, because it's going to fall to, like, knight takes a pawn, and my opponent just gets a free pawn for nothing. So queen g3. And now pawn to d5. And now I figure I can kick the knight away. And I figure the knight is more than likely going to come here. All right? Now he doesn't. Instead we have pawn to d4 attacking my other knight. So in fact, what I could just take his knight here on second thoughts. And then if he takes my knight, I get his bishop as well, a continuation capture. But for some reason I don't notice that, and I retreat my knight. He swings his knight round attacking my queen, so now queen's got to move. Queen forward to g4, maintaining the pin on the g7 pawn. Pawn comes forward now. Now my spare knight, that's done quite a little pony trek around here, comes to trade itself off with that knight. He takes, and I recapture with the queen, still maintaining the pin on the pawn. Right, now he comes in looking for some counterplay down here. I take, allowing takes, and then I put my rook on d1, where it's in line with his queen, thereby pinning this pawn. Fair enough. He pushes and defends. I push Harry. Harry goes up to h4. We are targeting this pawn because it's pinned. His bishop comes back, so I swing my knight in. Trying to see if he wants to trade off for his bishop now. He doesn't. He pushes a pawn. So now I decide to push. And this is lovely. This is where it starts to get really quite sexy, because if he captures here, which he does, I realise that f6 not only keeps the bishop out of here, but the bishop's actually trapped by its own pawn here. My pawns are covering both of these squares. So the bishop is trapped. He takes, I take, queen takes, I take with the bishop now, so the queen now can't retreat down here. So where's she going to go? She should probably go to g7. Probably. She doesn't. She goes up here. I hit with a rook. She comes down and grabs a pawn. Bad call, brother. Right, bishop f6. And now we are eyeing up an unstoppable mate. And the point is that this pawn now can't progress. Okay, so this rook can't really help. And I'm looking at, there's a couple of ideas. Queen here, here, mate. Or alternatively, queen here, bishop in, mate, with the bishop first mate. Now, he starts to mess around on the queen side. I'm not interested. Here, now he plays a good move. King h7. Right, so do we have a forced mate here? Well, I can't see it, but with him, you know, wasting time like this and capturing pawns and stuff, I think I have time. So I push h5. If he takes here, it's simply checkmate straight away. If he doesn't take, I take with check, and he can't come here or here, so he has to go there. So he now grabs a pawn. I take with check. King can't take the pawn, can't go on a dark square. Or can't go on these two. No, he can't go on that one either. This is pretty much forced, eh? Oh no, he captures. Right, didn't realise that one. Okay, but anyway, queen h5, queen h4 is check. King there, queen in the corner. Why didn't it go checkmate? Well, he has this. Okay, we'll carry on. Queen here. King e8, queen e7, checkmate. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. Right, let's have a look at game number 2. And now I have the black pieces. My opponent starts with e4, we have e5, knight f3, and we're feeling sexy, so let's go for the Latvian Gambit, right? A few things can happen here. There's actually 2 ways to accept the gambit, because both of these pawns are in fact gambited. So he does this, right? And that allows me to push my pawn and kick his knight. So we push. Knight swings around to here. Now I think this is the right move. Queen f6. Very common here. I'm attacking this pawn, I'm attacking the knight. So what's he going to do? This is by far the most common response. Memory tells me, yes, he pushes c3. Now I think this is right. I don't know, haven't revised it. I want to deflect his knight away from the defense of this pawn. He takes, I take with the d pawn, thereby freeing up this bishop to here. He brings his pawn out, I grab the pawn there. Right, now look at all his development, right? He hasn't got any. You've got no development, right? I, however, am ready to castle long on the next turn, put my rook onto the semi-open d-file, but it doesn't end there, boys and girls, right? Strap in. I castle. He pushes pawn forward. He likes to counterattack this guy. Now, I did briefly consider capturing with my bishop here. Pawn takes. Then I've got like rook takes there. That might be an idea. We shall see. But I decide to be a bit more grown up and just develop my knight. I spy a nice place for my knight here. He pushes another pawn up, right? I stick my knight on the d5 square, and he comes here with his queen. So what do we want to do? Bishop to e6 now. I'm just lining up a discovery, right? So there's things I can do. I can't take this pawn because queen just takes. But there might be ideas around this side, we never know. He pushes a pawn. I decide to swing my knight back to b6. Figure that's probably a good place for my knight. It comes with tempo because I've got discovery on the queen. He could block with the pawn. He blocks with the pawn. But that then undefends this pawn. Every time a pawn moves, something's undefended. Well, some squares are uncontrolled anyway. So queen takes d4, and now I'm looking at checkmates, but I haven't got one. Because queen's guarding that square, and the knight is guarding this square as well as the bishop. Right, so it's not working. And now he counterattacks my queen. What do? Drop back here. Now he attacks my queen again. I ain't bothered. I come back round here. Right? I still really want to checkmate him down here, but it's not happening. He grabs my pawn. Now I do have potential ideas I could take here, but it is defended twice. So nothing really goes there. So I now grab his bishop. Pawn takes, king takes. I did also have king b8, but I didn't want to spend too much time thinking, so I just grabbed the pawn. He pushes again, now attacking my pinned knight. Right? He is a piece down right now because he has not recaptured the bishop. He's delaying recapturing with the bishop, which he could do 3 ways. So, what would you play here? As black. Pause if you need to. I'm very, very pleased with this move that I found. Okay, the move is queen takes a5 check. Right, I just wasn't looking sideways, and then I looked sideways, and it's like, I can take that with check. Right, king's in check. He can't go on here. So what's going to happen? He blocks with the knight. Alrighty. And now, what would you play here as black? Okay, the knight has just moved. The knight was guarding this square, right? So what can we do? I give up the bishop to its fate. Opponent captures, queen d2, checkmate, stick that right in your other pipe and smoke it as well. So there you go, just for fun. Thought I'd share. Wife's out because her mum's not very well, has had to go into hospital today, so I don't know what time she'll be back. So we've just been chessing and enjoying ourselves. So hope you've enjoyed it. I certainly have. Thanks for watching. See ya.